A matrix is defined as a rectangular array of elements that can be arranged in this manner, no? So let's say normally it is represented by this one. You have two lines, or you have a line, no? Then elements. The first element can be taken as A1, 1. The second element can be taken as A1, 2, A1, 3, so on and so forth. You have here A, M, 1M rather. 1M. No? Then you have A21, A22, A23, then we have A2M. Then we have A31, A32, A33, up to A3M, and so on. Wherein, for the last, we can have palitan ko ng subscript. 1N, 2N, 3N. So ito ngayon magiging M1, this is M2, M3, Mn. So a matrix is can be defined as a rectangular array of numbers or elements, no, represented or within a bracket and arranged in this manner, wherein the horizontal arrangement of elements, your A11, A12, A13, and so on, are known as the elements, wherein the horizontal arrangement of the elements is known as the row, no? The vertical arrangement known as the column. So, the position, the subscript of each element indicate the position of that particular element in a row and a column. The first subscript refer to the position of the element on the row. The second subscript refer to the position of the same element in the column. So, A11, it means it is on the first row. Horizontal arrangement is called as a row. A11 means the element is on the first row, first column. A12, the element is on the first row, but second column. A13, the element is on the first row, third column. I hope you can follow. So when we say A32, it is understood that the element is on the third row, then second column. So if we're going to have to consider n column, then m rows, we can say that this is m by n matrix. M by n matrix. Where in this case, m is not equal to n. The number of row is not equal to the number of column. No? However, when the number of row is equal to the number of columns, that is called as a square matrix. When m is equal to n, it is called as a square matrix, or commonly called as determinant. So matrix is a general term, while a determinant is a particular wherein the condition is the number of row equal to the number of columns. No? So let's have the addition of matrices. Matrices. If let's say given matrix A, whose elements are say A11, A12, then second row na tayo, A21, A22, then we have A31, A32. Let's say this is matrix A. Then matrix B, we have here B11, B12, B21, B22, B31, B32. Two matrices or more matrices can be added if and only if they are of the same size. No? If and only if they are of the same size, have the same order, no? Same size. So if we are interested on the sum, actually sum and difference, no? Gawin ko kaya itong addition subtraction, no? Teka. Same size. So you can only add or subtract two matrices if they are of the same size. What do I mean is that the number of rows of the first matrix must be equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. The number of column of the first matrix must be equal to the number of column of the second matrix. So, number of rows M stand for the rows. MA must be equal to MB. Then NA must be equal to NB. Then you have to take the sum, the corresponding sum or difference, element to element, corresponding element. So the result will be the first element on the first matrix is A11. The corresponding element on the second matrix is B11. That will be the resulting element of the sum, no? First element. So what next? It will become A12, then plus B12. Next, A21 plus B21. Take the sum element to element. No? Then we have here A21, B21, then A22 plus B22. Next, A31 plus B31, then A32 plus B32. So the order would be the same. When we say order, no? In this case, tingnan natin. Number of rows, we have 3. Then, the number of columns, we have here 2. So, we can say that this is a 3 by 2 matrix. And this is known as the order of a matrix. Is that clear? A 3 by 2 matrix means to say that we have 3 rows and 2 columns. Same size or they are of the same order. Okay? So if we're going to subtract, simply take the difference. That is the addition subtraction of a matrix. What about the multiplication? Kita ba ninyo yung screen?
Yes
Yes
po, sir.
po.
Yung M. COM. Two matrices can be multiplied if and only if so two matrices can be multiplied if and only if they are conformable. What do you mean? That is, if the number of rows of the first matrix is equal to the number of columns two matrices can be multiplied if and only if they are conformable. When we say conformable, the number of rows of the first matrix is equal to the number of columns of the second matrix. Columns of the second matrix. So yung first matrix, yun yung sinasabing post multiplier, no? Ito to, itong first matrix na ito, dito na lang. Pre-multiplier ito. Ito yung pre-multiplier. Pre-multiplier. While the second matrix is known as the post-multiplier. Let's say given matrix A. Sabihin natin itong A11, A12, for a while. Sabihin natin M by P. Sabihin natin yung first matrix ay M by P. That is the order. The second matrix should be P by N. Okay? The number of row, tingnan natin may retention. Ang sabi dito, multiplication of matrices is possible if and only if they are conformable. When we say conformable, the number of rows of the first matrix is equal to the number of columns of the second matrix. So, if let's say matrix A has an order of M by P. Ibig sabihin, the number of rows is M and the number of column is P. Then the second matrix must be P by N. P by N. No? So the number of The number of rows of the first matrix must be equal to for a while dapat maging M by N the number of columns of the first matrix must be equal. Alright. Baliktad. Baliktad. Baliktad dito. Number of columns. Sorry. Number of columns. Then this one is row. Okay. I repeat. If the number of columns of the first matrix is equal to the number of rows of the second matrix. So in symbol, we have the number of column of the first matrix, that is the pre-multiplier, ito to, is equal to the number of rows of the post-multiplier, the second matrix. Then the result, we have A dot B. That is the product, ano? A dot B is now equal to, the result is simply n by n matrix. Okay, let's have an example. So the result is a new matrix. No? Let's have an example. Given matrix A, whose elements are 2, 1, and 4, then matrix, first row, I'm sorry. Given matrix A, whose elements are 2, 1, and 4, negative 3, 0, and 2. While matrix B, 3, 5, 2, negative 1, 4, and 2. Now we are interested on the product of A and B. So we have matrix A times matrix B. First, we have to check if they are conformable. Tingnan natin. The size of matrix A, how many rows? This is 2 rows, then 3 columns. While matrix B, we have 3 rows, then 2 columns, no? So A by B, we have 2 by 3, then the other one, we have here 3 by 2, no? The number of rows, the number of column of the pre-multiplier is equal to the number of rows of the post-multiplier. So, pwede natin i-multiply. And what will be the result? So, we have here 2, 1, and 4. Then negative 3, 0, and 2. Then the second matrix, the post-multiplier, we have here 3 and 5, 2, negative 1, 4, and 2. What is the order of the resulting product? Pareho yung number of columns dun sa yung number of columns ng first matrix pre-multiplier is equal to the number of rows of the post-multiplier. So the result, mawawala yung 3, dapat maging 2 by 2 matrix or a second order determinant. No? Paano ang magiging result nito? An idea? All elements, all elements on the first row dito sa A natin will be distributed to the elements on the first column. Take the algebraic sum. So it will be like this. 2 times 3 plus 1 times 2 plus 4 times 4. Let's do it directly, huh? Hello, are you still listening?
Yes, sir.
Yes po,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
You have to multiply, you have to take the algebraic sum of the products of all the elements on the first row distributed to all elements on the first column of the second matrix. So, ganito. 2 by 3, 2 times 3, that is 6, plus 1 times 2, plus 4 times 4. Ilan lahat yun?
24 po, sir.
6 plus 2 is 8, 8 or 24. I hope everybody can follow. That will be the first element of the resulting determinant. Next, uh, ano yan ha? First element on the first row. Second element on the first row. Element on the first row of the of the pre-multiplier will be distributed to the elements on the second column of the post-multiplier. That is 2 times 5 plus 1 times negative 1 plus 4 times 2. Ilan? 2 by
17
5,
po.
10. Consider niyo yung sign ha. 10, then minus 1, that is 9, plus 8. Ilan ang sagot niyo?
17.
17 po, sir.
17, tama. Next. Second row na tayo. So, second row nung pre-multiplier. We're going to distribute on the elements first column of the post-multiplier. That is negative 3 times 3 plus 0 times 2 plus 2 times 4. Ilan?
1 po, sir.
Negative.
Positive 1.
Negative 1 po.
That's correct. What next? Ano? What is the result? Negative 3 by 5 plus 0 times negative 1 plus 2 times 2.
Negative 11 po.
Negative 11.
Okay. So, we have a 2 by 2 matrix. So, tingnan natin yung unang analysis. Check if they're conformable. The number of columns of the pre-multiplier must be equal to the number of rows of the post-multiplier. 3 and 3. Then the result, common yung 3, what will be left is the extremes, 2 by 2 matrix. The result is 2 by 2 matrix. Pwede itong i-direct sa calculator eh. Subukan nga ninyo. When you try to open your calculator, then set it to matrices. Enter ninyo ito, then A times B. Let's try it. We will have the same answer. Determinants, no, or matrices. Did you arrive at the same value using calculator? Ano, did you arrive at the same value?
Yes po, sir.
Pwede sa calculator directly.
Opo.
What about if, let's say, we're going to interchange? This time, it is not A times B, but rather B times A. Tingnan natin. Parehas kaya? I-check muna natin kung conformable, ano? B is 3 by 2. B is 3 by 2. While A, A is 2 by 3. A is 2 by 3. Anong sabi? The number of columns of the pre-multiplier must be equal to the number of rows of the post-multiplier. Pareho, 2 and 2. So, we are expecting, common yung 2, we are expecting a 3 by 3 matrix or a third order determinant. So, yan natin. Ano ba yung B? So, B by A is simply, ano yung ating B? B is 3 and 5. We have 2, negative 1, 4, and 2. Then times your A. Your A is 2, 1, and 4. Then negative 3, 0, and 2. Then all elements on the first row of the pre-multiplier will be distributed to all elements on the first column of the post multiplier. We have to take the algebraic sum of the products, no, of each element. Doing so, we have 3 by 2 plus 2 times negative 3. Ilan? 6, then negative 15, ilan?
Negative 9 po.
Negative 9. Next. Second, first row, still first row on B, then second column on post multiplier. So what will it be? 3 by 1 plus 5 times 0. So it is
3 po.
3. Next, 3 by 4 is 12. 5 by 2 is 10. Is it 22?
22 po. Yes po.
Next. What next? Julia, what next?
7 po, sir.
Do you agree? What about theirs? Do you agree?
7 po. Yes po.
2 by 2 is 4. Then negative 1, negative 3 is positive 3. Tama. Next. Alcayaga. Princess.
Wait, 15, 15 negative, 15 negative, negative 15,
Second row tayo, ha? Second.
0, 4, 15, negative, ay, asan ako? 2, sir.
Aba. We have 2 by 1, then negative 1, 0. 2. Correct. Next. Sige, continue. What is the next?
Sir,
What next, Princess?
Six, sir.
6. 2 by 4 is 8, minus 2 is 6. That's correct, ano? The next, sinog ba? Kyle? Nasa third row na tayo. Post multiplier. After multiplier.
2 po, sir.
Ha? 4 by 2 is 8 plus negative 6. Tama, positive 2. Tama. Babylonia. What next? Oh, positive 4. That's correct. 4 by 1, then plus 0. And the last, ilan? 4 by 4, 16. Ilan? Saan mo? 20. 4 by 4 is 16 plus 4 is 20. Will you check using calculator?
Same po, sir.
Then, i-compare natin, no? A times B is a 2 by 2, while B times A is a 3 by 3. No? This is a third order determinant. Therefore, we can conclude that A times B is not equal to B times A. What do I mean is that matrix multiplication is not commutative. A times B not equal to B times A. Matrix multiplication is not commutative. Okay. Any questions so far? Let's set the transpose of a matrix. Are you familiar with what I'm discussing today? Have you encountered this before?
Yes po, sir.
Saan? Anong subject? Algebra?
Yes po, sir. Pati po sa MATLAB po, sir.
Sana kayo sa MATLAB?
Nasa numerical methods na po, sir.
Parang lumagpas kayo. Kasi ang numerical method, yun yung subject yung next sem eh. Ang bilis ninyo. Merong pagkatapos ng advanced math, no? Susunod din yung subject next semester, numerical method. Anyway, may idea na kayo sa ano. What is the transpose of a matrix? Let's say given matrix A, whose elements are A11, A12, first element, second row, first row, second column, first row, third column. Then we have A first row, n column. Then followed by A21, A22, A23. This is this is the general form, no, of a matrix. A what? 2n. Then A31, A32, A33, A3n. Or we have here AM row, no? AM1. This is AM2. This is AM3, M row, third column. And this is AM by N matrix. Ito ba yung una nating definition ng matrix? Let me see. Tama. Now, what is the transpose of this matrix? What do you mean by the term transpose of a matrix? Deskalya. Marami nang dumating eh. Ian. Hello, Ian.
No po, sir.
What do you mean by transpose of a matrix?
Sir, sa idea ko po, from sa advanced math lab po, transpose po is parang from column matrix magiging row matrix po. Ano po ba?
Her phone, sir, she has 1,000.
Tama ba si Ian? You simply interchange the row to its corresponding column, no? That is a transpose of a matrix. So ibig sabihin, All of the elements on the first row will become the elements on the first column. All of the elements on the second row will become the elements on the second column. That is transpose of a matrix. So, the transpose of a matrix is normally denoted by A to the T. Is that clear? So, the transpose will become what? A11, lahat ng elements sa first row mapupunta sa first column. A12, A13, then we have A1N. Then dito, we have A21, A22, A23, A2N, no? A2N. Then we have A31, A32, A33, A3N. So ito yung magiging what? AM1, AM2, AM3, AMN. No? This is now the transpose of a matrix. So let's have an example. A given matrix A, ganun pa rin, matrix A is given as 2, 1, and 4, then negative 3, 0, and 2. Such that the transpose, if we are interested on the transpose of this matrix, it will become 2, 1, and 4, negative 3, 0, and 2. Okay. Why do we have to know the transpose of a matrix? We're going to make use of this in dividing two matrices. Let's say matrix A to be divided by matrix B. Okay. So, we're going to continue this by next meeting. Ay, by the way, anong topic na kayo sa laboratory? What particular topic in matrices?
Sir, ang ginagawa po namin ngayon is yung bisection method and regular fallacy method.
Numerical method na nga kayo itong gagawin. Di ba meron kayong subject na alam ko meron kayong numerical method na bukod eh. Sana wag kayo sa akin matapat sa numerical method kasi wala na akong ituturo sa inyo na i-discuss na sa inyo. Isasuggest ko na ang humawak ng numerical method niyo si Sino teacher niyo ngayon sa lab?
Sir Felix po.
Felix? Sino? Si Cyril, si Engineer Cyril Felix.
Yes po.
Yes po, sir.
Sige. Sabihin ko siya humawak ng numerical method yung next sem. Kasi kung ako hahawak wala na akong di-discuss na niya ngayon. Ibig sabihin, mas marami kayong topic. Baka umabot kayo sa numerical differentiation. Ang magkasama ang numerical method saka advanced math, civil, CE, saka IE. Kasi wala silang numerical method na subject. Kaya pinagsama. Sa inyo, hiwalay ang numerical method. Anyway, advantage naman on your part. So, sige, paki-picturean na. Paki-screenshot. Next. So, next meeting, we'll have the determinants, no? Okay. Teka, kunin ko yung grade ng iba.